Greetings and welcome to Disruptors v Defenders. This is the Week 1 recap, and we're off to a really exciting start. Before I reveal what happened in Week 1 and how it played out in terms of the score, I want to give a little background on what's happening in this first session of the game. This time the focus is on the cybersecurity industry. So much has happened in recent months related to the cybersecurity industry. Everything from large companies and the government, even cybersecurity companies being hacked, as well as infrastructure being subject to ransomware attacks, and lots of different challenges in this area as many companies become more acutely aware of how vulnerable they are to a cyber attack. For this reason, the focus of Disruptors v Defenders is on this cybersecurity industry. The disruptors are looking for ways to improve the industry, to create new tools and capabilities that don't exist today from incumbent providers. The defenders, of course, are part of a large group of companies that provide valuable services in the cybersecurity space and trying to innovate ways to do this more efficiently, more effectively, and to be able to do it for a larger group of customers. As you can see, both have a very noble purpose in what they're doing, both have strengths, both have weaknesses, and both have their work cut out for them. So let's take a look at what happened in this first week of competition. The disruptors got off to a great start by showing their customers some love. They played the card customer love. This includes things like conducting surveys to get information from customers, talking to customers, doing interviews, doing observations, planning special events. So these are all activities that are showing customers love and helping to increase their understanding of the customers. In this way, they're hoping to find new opportunities to serve these customers better than incumbent players, to provide services that don't already exist, or perhaps to make such services more affordable or accessible. So to review the value card categories for the disruptors, the 5 categories that they're trying to build are ideation, customer discovery, product development, sales and marketing, operations and infrastructure, and business model. As you can see, customer discovery is the big winner with the highest value for this particular choice. Next, ideation and sales and marketing have strong placement as well. And as disruptors come to understand their customers better, they're in a better position to market to them and to sell to them and develop products and ideas that are going to be aligned with what customers need. Finally, this card selection also improves product development and operations and infrastructure. This allows the disruptors to start to set the stage for future growth and scale. So now let's take a look at what happened with the defenders. The defenders also made a really good choice in Week 1 by selecting the backstory card. This is a great play for defenders to make because they're leveraging their strength of brand and the infrastructure they have in place to create and develop and bring to market new products. So let's review how this particular card will help the defenders to achieve their goal this week. As you'll recall, the defenders have a different set of categories that they're focused on, or at very least, not exactly the same as the disruptors. Defenders are focused on product management, customer discovery, revenue stream protection, sales and marketing, internal politics, and business model. So by selecting the backstory card, they've really given themselves some strengths in the categories of business model, politics, revenue stream protection, and product management. To get the most out of this selection, the defenders created a brief history. They applied the Tomorrow framework to determine uncertainties. They identified 25 options and ideas for product enhancements and features, and they built out a brand profile. So just as a reminder, the way that these actions and tasks are delivered is that each member of the team, each member of each team will take one of these tasks or one of these objectives, and they will produce that work and turn it in. And that's how they get the points for this particular section. The first step for one of the teams to achieve their point goal for the week is for each team member to complete their particular task and turn it in. This means that the first portion of the calculation for victory points for the week is related to the percentage of participation on the part of team members. If all team members complete their tasks and hand them in, that's 100% participation. In Week 1, we had exactly that. 100% participation from both teams. This is great news. Both teams are actively engaged in their work and trying to gain the mind share and perspective and empathy for their customers to be able to deliver new value to the market. This also means that in terms of victory points, this particular category is a dead heat. With both teams at 100% participation, there's no point gain or loss on either side as a result. The next factor in determining the weekly victory points is the actual sequence of events. You'll recall there are 5 cards and 5 weeks. Each team has to play 1 card each week and must play all of their cards. There is an optimal sequence for disruptors and an optimal sequence for defenders. If they choose the correct sequence, then they will get the optimal point value for this particular week. And of course, it relates as well to how their opponent did in terms of their optimal sequence. This week, both teams chose a very good card to play, but did not choose the ideal card in terms of sequence. Both were 1 card away from the optimal sequence, and as a result, both players had one point negative for this category. This also means that since both were in the same boat, these cancel each other out as well. So once again, both teams have achieved the same level for these first 2 categories. Let's keep going. Next, we will take a look at the interaction variable between the 2 decisions made by the teams. I mentioned before that both teams chose 1 step away in terms of the optimal choice for the sequence. However, in any given week, each team is facing each other head to head. So the action and reaction have a net effect. In this case, the disruptors chose customer love, while the defenders chose to play the backstory card this week. Both good choices, but anytime there's an opportunity to show customers love, to gain understanding of customers, and to gain empathy for customers, that is going to be an advantage play. As a result, the disruptors have taken a 1-point lead this week in terms of the interaction variable. So great choice and good work on the part of the disruptors. That gives them an advantage, moving the potential week 1 score in favor of the disruptors. Finally, there's random chance. And of course, random chance really in this game represents some factor in the market that happened at a particular time that plays in the favor of one or the other. In this case, for the scenario, the random chance generator produced a number that pointed to the defenders. So we can imagine here what's actually happened in the industry is that an event has made it more favorable that week to be part of a defender team than a disruptor. So the example we'll use this time is that another disruptor, another entrepreneurial firm in the cybersecurity space has made an attempt to join the industry and has been prominent in their attempt, but was not successful, was not given additional funding, ran out of funds, and had to close down. Of course, this gives confidence to companies that are incumbent because of their long track record, their history. This also slightly undermines those who are entrepreneurs and digging into a new industry and trying to disrupt the industry. And so for this week, random chance fell in the favor of the defenders. But of course, this will be a random selection each week for this category. What that means is that returns the victory point split to 5-5 for this week, leaving us at a dead heat coming out of week 1. So it's going to be really exciting as we go into week 2 as the stakes increase and both the disruptors and the defenders seek to really understand the market, the customers, and to gain the most advantage through their activities. So stay tuned and let's see what happens next week in Disruptors and Defenders. Keep going and never give up.